Today's sensory cooking recipe is banana cupcakes with cream cheese frosting. This is part 1. Sensory ideas include smelling the vinegar and noticing the strong scent. Feel the vibrations from the hand mixer. Feel and taste the bananas before and after mashing them. Language ideas include what words could be used to describe these cupcakes? Delicious, decadent. Do you prefer a variety of colors for sprinkles or only a select few? What else could you put on top of the cupcakes? Nuts, banana chips, chocolate drizzle? With all that being said, let's start cooking. Good morning. We are going to make a banana cake today. Nicholas is going to help me. It's got cream cheese frosting, should be delicious. 3 things we always start with. Read through the recipe, hair back if it's long, and our hands are washed, right, Nicholas? Okay, good job. So we are going to start with a banana cake. One of the things that this cake requires is sour milk. So one of our sensory objectives is going to be smelling the vinegar. And vinegar is really strong, so that is a perfect sensory item. You don't have to get very close. And then what we're going to do is, after it's been smelled, we're going to add it to the milk because that's going to sour our milk. It's kind of like sour cream, but not exactly. Again, we have our dump bowl as always to put our garbage in. What else do we need to tell them, Nicholas? Anything before we get started?
Think
we're good?
Think so.
Okay, mixer's ready to go. Do you want to mix the ingredients?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my brother-in-law's recipe, and he seems to actually just put everything in and mix it. Normally you would cream the butter, add the sugar. He seems to just, it's kind of a dump cake. He pours it all in and it works, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so for this we're going to start off with 2 sticks of butter, each of which equals half a cup. So we'll add a whole cup of butter.
Using that dump bowl for our garbage.
As always.
As always.
And what exactly? The sugar?
Well, let's see. It says eggs. We're going to add the sugar next, though.
So then we add in 1.5 cups of sugar. Be 1/2.
Because 3 halves equal
1.5.
Right.
So that's 2 halves.
But you could also use
a whole cup and 1/2.
And 1/2, exactly. There's a little math in there for you.
Yeah. And there's 1.5. Now you can use whatever you prefer, but sometimes I use just the same cup multiple times just to save dishes, especially if I'm gonna need this cup for another ingredient.
Like flour.
Yep.
Another sensory aspect from this, we have a friend who has a little girl, and the hand mixer vibrating still scares her. So that's one of the things we're working on. So if you can get a kiddo, if this is a fear, sometimes you can do hand over hand, right, Nicholas? Because watch, if you put your hand on top of mine, it's not as strong. Now put your hand on the mixer. Go ahead. Doesn't that feel more vibrating?
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes you can do hand over hand, and that'll help. They can get the hang of starting to use a mixer, but they're maybe not comfortable to do it on their own yet, right?
Right.
Okay. One of the few things Nicholas hasn't gotten comfortable doing with banana cake is actually mashing the bananas. We use really ripe bananas, and they're kind of squishy. So it's a great sensory opportunity for the kids to feel these very squishy bananas and to mush them in the bowl. But at least in our family, this is still kind of a hard one. So we're going to put 3 bananas in the bowl, and he is not to the point where he likes to mash these yet. So I get that job. And then I'm just going to wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay. I've put my banana peels in our dump bowl, right? So we don't have to chase after the trash can all the time. And Uncle Mike might actually, I don't even know if he mashes the bananas. He might just throw them right in the mix because that's how Uncle Mike cooks, and it seems to work for this recipe. So we're just going to mash them up. I don't think they have to be mashed up a lot because they're still going to go with the mixer. Be a great thing for your kids to taste. And you can talk about how it goes from, you know, a little more firm to kind of mushy. And it's pretty quick. It's a great thing for your kids to help with because pushing down and using their strength is a perfect way to incorporate it in this recipe.
Okay, so next up, we're going to be adding 2 eggs.
Which we've cracked into a separate bowl to make sure we have no shell. You want to put the vanilla in there first? Here.
The bananas we just mashed up.
You're going to add the vanilla separate? Okay. Okay.
1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Homemade by Mom. Things like vanilla we close back up so they don't spill. Can you see in here? I do want to show them, honey. By putting that vinegar in there, it kind of made it chunky. I don't know if you can see it, but it's supposed to do that. So that's what you're doing by making it sour milk.
So pour in the sour milk.
Oh, yeah, like that.
So now we're going to blend this all together, or mix it. So next we're going to add 2 1/3 cups of flour.
And we never shake the flour because that changes the measurement. We just level it off. That's good. Because you don't want to fill it too full either. A little more. Perfect. There you go. And that should be a nice level cup of flour.
That's 1 cup. Oh, and also have a little scooper like this if you're running low or just having difficulty getting it in.
No. Perfect.
So that's 2 cups.
Third.
And finally, 1 1/3 of a cup. And then we put in 1 teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder.
They're already combined in there.
Yep. Then whisk that together.
We don't want lumps of baking powder or baking soda, so by whisking it, we prevent that, right? Just a little. That's all it needs. Great.
And once that's mixed up, we put it into our banana mixture.
And we're going to mix it till it's just mixed. Partway through, we're going to turn it off and use our spatula.
Or the blades, the mixer,
Spatula gets
to scrape some of the leftovers, stuff that didn't get mixed in, off the edges and get them into the mixture.
Mix it a little more because we still have some kind of big banana chunks in there, so let's crank it up a little. I think we got it, huh? For baking and frosting instructions, go to part 2 of this video.